Hey guys, it's Shadow the Rat, and for today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I personally prepare for new rats. So I'm going to be adding 4 rats to my group next week, or in the next 2 weeks. Not exactly sure when I'm going to be posting this, but if you're seeing this at release date, then I'm going to be getting the rats pretty soon after. Anyways, the way I prepare for new rats is pretty simple. And honestly, that's mainly because, well, I've had rats for a few years now, so I have a lot of rat supplies. I mean, I have probably more than I should, to be honest. If I were getting rats for the first time, this video would definitely be more extensive because I feel like if you're getting rats for the first time, it's good to pretty much plan everything in advance. So, get your cage, get your toys, food, bedding, set up the cage, find a vet that treats rats, find your emergency vet, and so forth. But since I already have rats and I've had them for a few years now, I've pretty much done all that. I don't really have anything that I need to get. I already have bedding, food, toys, cages, and so forth, and I already have a vet that I like to go to, actually several vets, so there's really not too much for me to do other than prep the cages. So one of the most important things when you're getting new rats to add to a current rat group is making sure you have a spare cage prepped before you get the rats. Now, I think this is important no matter if you're getting rats for the first time or getting rats to add to your current group, but it's especially important if you're getting rats to add to your current group because it's very common for rats to be territorial of their cage. So if you bring home a new rat and then just place it into your current rat's cage, oftentimes they will start to fight, and they may even injure or, in extreme cases, kill the new rat just because you put them directly into their territory and the new rat can't escape. So it's really best to avoid this sort of situation by making sure that you introduce the rats in a neutral area first. Now there's a lot of different methods out there for intros, but pretty much every single one agrees that you don't want the rats to be meeting in the current rat's main cage. But by extension, that means that you need to have somewhere to put the new rats before you do intros. And because intros can take a while, and because sometimes you're going to want to quarantine too, especially if you're in a high-risk area, that means that you want your cage to be able to support your new rat or rats for at least a few weeks. Now, the cage doesn't have to be anything crazy extensive. It doesn't have to be like a fancy, multi-level cage. A normal one-level hospital cage is just fine. Personally, I recommend people have a hospital cage just for if their rats ever get sick or injured and they have to be separated temporarily. And this sort of cage makes a really good cage to keep new rats in if you're going to be introducing them to the group, but they're just not really ready for that yet. Or if they're currently doing intros but just haven't bonded enough to live together yet. Anyways, that's pretty much what you've been seeing me do on screen. I am prepping one cage here that's going to be for a pair of babies that I'm getting next week. I'm getting a pair of babies and a pair of 6 to 7 month old girls, so all 4 of them are going to be eventually living with my current rats in their large Triple Critter Nation cage. But before that, I will need 2 separate cages to house them in because they are coming from 2 separate places, and so they are not already bonded. So I'm going to have 1 pair in this smaller cage here, and then I'm going to have 1 pair in this slightly bigger cage I have. There's no real reason that one cage is smaller than the other. It's really just what I have on hand. Anyways, as you can see, I have finished prepping the first cage, and now that this cage is prepped, I am going to prep the second, or I should say I have prepped the second because I did not film myself putting stuff into the second cage, but I did take a few pictures of it, so I'm going to show you those pictures now. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have to do to prep for my new rats. Like I mentioned, I do have a ton of rat stuff, so I just really didn't have anything else to get. I have all the stuff they're going to need, so I just needed to make sure that I had these cages on hand, and I'm also going to be prepping some carriers right before I go to pick them up. However, I don't really feel the need to do that right now because prepping a carrier is literally just taking the carrier out, putting in some bedding and a half tissue box for cover, and that's it. That's literally how I prep a carrier. Sometimes I bring a water bottle with me, but I probably won't in this case because I'm not going very far to get the rats. Anyways, I will tell you more about these rats in future videos once I get them, but for now I just wanted to share how I'm prepping for them and to say that I am quite excited. I hope my other rats like them because otherwise we are going to be in for a rough intro, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Fingers crossed. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope to see you next time. Bye!